Good morning, my little beauties. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are doing more Skyline stuff. As you know, if you've watched the video from the ring and all that lot, the car was fine, but cracked the plug and that's about it really. And then other than that, coil pack died on the way back, but we sorted that out. But other than that, the only issue we had was on high boost, going around the track, oil squirting out. My common RB thing, apparently, I didn't know about this until obviously we went on the track, is oil coming out of the breather on the catch can. So my oil catch can's too small. I'll show you that. You've probably seen it, but I'll show you it again now. It's just a tiny little one, I don't even know, 500ml one or something like that. So I've bought a new catch can, but I'll show you the old one. This little beauty here, look, tiny one. It says Legacy Seal, the oil residue and all that. Obviously all the crank case pressure builds up, comes out of there into there. It's got nowhere to go because it's got not got enough breathers, and then squirts out all over my intake and all down here, and then starts smoking because it goes on the exhaust manifold. Just a fire hazard and just ain't very good really. So we've got a bigger one, a bigger and better one. Yeah, I've been doing my research online, and you can do you can just have two lines going into the can and have those free breathers. I've got one with free breathers on basically. Or what you can do is another way is have a line going back into the sump so that the pressure still gets relieved and that will also relieve pressure from the sump as well, which does build up pressure. So we'll have one going back into the sump, relieve pressure from the sump and relieve pressure from the two valve cover or the head basically. Obviously we've got the rear head drain on, so I'm going to plumb in the catch can, go in back into the same line as the rear head drain. I'd like to do another hole really, another bung on the other side of the sump say, but that involves drilling the sump, and you can do it on the car, but I really don't want to. I've seen a load of videos yesterday I watched of people drilling into the sump with it on the car, you know, cleaning that oil out as best they can, putting oil through it, letting it flush through, but you're still going to get fragments inside, and I ain't risking blowing up an engine I spent like 5 grand on building just because I can't bother to take the sump off, because you got to pretty much raise the engine right up and move stuff out the way to get to the sump. So yeah, let's chuck this on and go into the existing line that goes from the rear head drain. We need to get a little 10AN T piece, but other than that, it should go straight in. Right, let's get a cutting device and get this bad boy open. This comes with all the lines and stuff, and a bunch of AN bits and bobs so we can do the job. It's obviously quite well. I'll link in the description where I got this one. Do you know what? This is actually a Honda catch can, but it's quite big. That's why I bought it, and it's got lots of different like Mayo lines coming out the side of it, so you can have as many lines as you want off of it. I think it's got 6, and all the ones I could find were like only a couple, like 1, or it's just 2 going into the catch can and that's it. But yeah, let's have a little gooch at this bad boy. Oh, that's throwing everything everywhere. Good effort. Right, I tell you what, we should do this outside, shouldn't we? Let's move outside because I'm going to lose bits in here. Right, let's get the catch can itself open first. Very well wrapped. I still don't know if this is bigger enough. I mean, the bigger the better, to be honest, with an RV. That's what they say online. You want like a 4 litre one really, but this is a significant upgrade. If it's still too small, then we'll go bigger again. But yeah, that's a bad boy, look. It's definitely got enough breathers, but like I said, it's got 4 like outlines and then 2 in. So those 2 are going from the valve cover. And then these can go into the sump, the intake, whatever you want to do, whatever setup you want to do. But yeah, that looks decent. And these, I'll show you. This is all the other bits. You get quite a bit of line. I'm not going to need nowhere near as much as that. You get obviously like block off plates, and that's your sump bung that would go welded in or threaded in. Yeah, loads of block off plates. Obviously you don't want to use all 4 of those outlets. You then got obviously a bunch of AN fittings, different ones, 90 degrees and stuff, 290 degrees. But yeah, lots of bits. Let's see where. And also another issue is where we're going to put this, because there's not exactly loads of room in the engine bay, but we'll have a little look. Right, old one's out. You have room there? Right, slight issue. Obviously I just bought the biggest can I could find really, but it's quite big. That's as best I can get it in there. I can relocate the air filter, but I don't think that's going to, but the bonnet's going to shut. We'll try it. Right, it's shut. Touched, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it shuts like that, but it's not the greatest place it can go really. It's the only place it can go, to be honest. I mean, I could get rid of that far end filter and just have two. It probably will shut then. Yeah, I might ditch this one off. Just bung it. That's all I can really do. So I'll send it back, but I've got it all greasy and stuff now. I can clean it. Don't know, a bit of a pain in the ass this, guys. Right, we're clear with the one on the far right filter taken off, which is still double the sizes, double the filters, and plus twice the size of the old filter, and double the size of the catch can, so still better than it was. Obviously we can have the air filter up here somewhere. We'll just test fit that in a minute. If needs be, we can always make or get fabricated a pipe to have it going up that way or something, the air filter. But it's just test fit a few more things. What I like pain in the ass is this doesn't fit in. It sits too high. So I'm going to take off the MAF, and might have to make like a little bracket to go into the intake pipe. But we don't need this because we're obviously aftermarket ECU manifold pressure, so we can delete that, probably sell it. Let's see if I can figure something out, make all this fit. Right, something like that. Obviously we need to put on, like this is just sitting there at the minute, like weld on a piece of pipe here, so it goes into this. But yeah, something like that, I reckon. That will work. Something like this, look. Stay, well you know what I mean, it'll stay like that. I think that looks decent. Obviously I'm going to mount the catch can properly. I bought a riv nut gun and stuff like that, so we can put some nuts in, and screw them and bolt it down. But we're just mocking up at the minute, but I think that's alright. That should work. Cross fingers. Right, first thing, so I just sprayed all that with degreaser. I'm going to give it another load of degreasing. Go fill this bucket up with soapy water and clean all this old oil up, because I don't like working on dirty stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to jet wash it, I can't bother to get the jet wash out, but just degrease it as much as I can. Clean it all up, and then we can start mounting catch cans and stuff. What I'm using for the degreaser is this stuff I get from Alfred's. I buy it in big sacks of it, litres of it, and just pour it in that little square, and then just literally fairy liquid, washing up liquid. Good degreaser, good for your dishes, good for your engine. But yeah, I'm going to give all this a scrub now, get all this crud out. Be a lot easier to, nicer to work on. We don't like dirty cars. Right, so I managed to fit it in with all three on. They're both plumbed in. Obviously not put Jubilees on them or anything. I've not AN fitted it because you get two, stop coughing, two fittings you can weld to your valve covers. But obviously I'm not doing that. We're just going to Jubilee it. They're on tight, I just need to tighten these up. That'll be fine, I'm sure. That's what I was before. But I still got like half the AN fittings, but you can't get the collars over the top of these hoses. And obviously if you use the fabric stuff, well, I could use the fabric stuff to be fair, couldn't I? But these are decent anyway. I don't really see the point. Yeah, going alright. Right, my little beauties, if you don't know how to do AN lines, it's pretty simple. All you do is you take off this part off of here, unscrews off of that, take that bit off, cut your hose to whatever length you want, and then wang that on the end so it comes up. You can't really see, there's like a little lip before the threads. Get your hose up to that. Come on, focus. But yeah, the hose all the way up to the threads, and then you wang this in, tighten up with this nut. Why can't you focus? Yeah, tighten that nut up, push that all the way as far as you can, and screw it in, tighten it up, and that's it. And then just screw that onto your catch can fitting, which is going to be one of them, but it's already welded on the catch can, obviously. These are just extras for what you have if you want to weld something to. But yeah, simple as that. Cut your lines, wang them on. Right, I'm going to do to fit the air filter on is I'm going to chop the airflow meter here, and then you can obviously get the rubber bloody, what you call it, onto here, and I can bolt it straight to my air filter then. I know I'm destroying a perfectly good mass airflow meter, but I don't see any other option other than trying to fabricate something, and I ain't got the time to do that. Well, there you go. That's nice and screwed on there, bolted on there. Wang it straight on there. I've not bolted down the catch can yet. All I need to do is literally drill 2 holes. I think I'm just going to drill 2 holes there. And yeah, I'm going to leave it that side. It doesn't even move. It's that wedged in there because it's so tight. Basically stuffed it like down the back of the head. It's like touching the back of the plastic headlight bit there, and the adjuster bit there, look, on the headlight adjuster, and then pushing up against the intercooler piping. So it's wedged right in. Obviously I've blocked them off. For you it will be 2 seconds, but for me I'm waiting on a T-piece to have a line going off of here, obviously going down to, see it there, the 90-degree bend there, and then the line going up to the rear head drain. I'm just going to put a T-piece in there and then have that coming up, so that's the feed to the sump. But that ain't here yet, that should be here tomorrow. But for you, we'll just continue the video tomorrow. Oh yeah, and as for this drain, obviously it's at the bottom there. The drain, all I've done is blocked it off at the minute, but I'm going to buy like a little tap so I can just release it whenever I need to empty the catch can, and it'll just go straight into a bucket. Easy. There we go. What are you thinking, boys? Looks quite decent, I think. The filter area. Yeah, obviously we've not got it plumbed into the sump yet, but we'll do that in a minute. That's just to basically, and it all clears. I mean, it looks like the bloody air filter is going to hit, but it does not. It is all gravy. What I could even do is just trim the top off, but it shuts fine. I think it's because it goes up, bonnet goes quite high up here, so it clears it just, or it just presses it down, which is fine. It'll rub a bit on the bonnet, but that don't matter. Yeah, happy days. Right, we got it jacked up, as you can see, to the axle stand underneath. But yeah, obviously we need to get to this line here. This is for the rear head drain. We're going to plumb into that because we've only got one bung bung on the sump. Be nice to drill a hole in that one and weld it in, but you can't do it unless you basically take half the end, lift the engine up, and I can't bother to do that. But yeah, a bit oily under here, I tell you. Must be the catch can. I'm hoping it's the catch can that's leaking oil, and that's it. That was the old catch can, sorry. Let's get that line off. Okay, chickens. This is what I've done so far, right? I've chopped it a bit shorter, so it goes into that T-piece. Obviously that's a male and that's a male, so I made this basically. It's just like a tiny bit of line in the middle there, just so we can put that on there, and then so it sticks straight out, and then we can put that on the end of that, and then on that bit have that go into the catch can. It's a bit of a funny old thing to do it. I could have done with like buying just a straight male to female small bit, but I haven't got any of them, so I'm just having to make a long thing and adapt it. We got quite a bit of excess nuts, so we can make it work somewhat. Yeah, wang out on there. I'll just show you afterwards and see what it looks like and see how tight the lines are. Right, my little buttes, here we go. So yeah, off the sump, sump, little T-piece, that goes up to the rear head drain, down the block, and then that goes up. And then you got my drain there for the actual draining the catch can. I've already ordered the like a little tap where you can just pull the tap and all the oil come out when you want to drain it. But yeah, let's have a look at the top. And I've also ordered, there's it going into the can. That line goes into the can. That's the drain. I've already ordered 2 bungs because that's terrible. So yeah, and then off the rocker. That is that job complete. I've ordered new fuel filter and fuel lines I've ordered 3 spares because the other day when I'd clean my spark plugs, one of the gold ones that I had in there, the HKS ones, was cracked, so I just put an NGK iridium in there and it's not matching, so I'm going to swap that for a gold one, so they're all 6 of the golds, brand new ones. And then I've got 2 spares just for, you know, just in case. Yeah, so I'm going to do the fuel lines and do the plugs in a different video because I'm knackered. But that's that anyway for this one. Catch can looks banging. Air filter sits nicely. Carbon fibre goodiness. Yeah, that is me completed it. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know what you think of the catch can, whether it's a bit over the top or it's too small. Who knows? We'll find out when we race. I'll go on a little test drive around the streets, but obviously only the speed limits. Right, like and subscribe to the channel, take it easy.